Do you often ask, how do I find balance in my life? Well, today we're going to talk about what that means when we say that. And also at the end, I'm going to teach you a technique that helps you come into your balance. So stay all the way to the end, and you can use that technique over and over again. We hear a lot about this idea of balance. And so to begin to understand it, let's first define it. So the dictionary uses words like equilibrium, equal distribution, and symmetry. So the idea of balance is to be somewhere in the center, I would say. Somewhere in the center would be a good example. And with that, we have to realize that when we have a center, that means we have a pulling from each direction, whether that pulling is physical, mental, emotional. There is a pull to one way or the other in order for there to have a balance. So one of the first things that we can let go of is that if we're feeling a pull, that means we're not doing it right, and that's why we're not balancing. The very act of having the pull is that's the only way we can have balance, is to have a pull. So accepting the tension in a situation is key to actually finding the balance. And so we can kind of let those feelings of, we can recognize that we are feeling tension, and that, it has to be there for us to be able to find our balance. So another way that we can find our balance is to accept that this is a journey and not a destination. We will never get to a point of balance and remain there for the rest of our lives. This is an ongoing practice and something that we get to do again and again and again. And we haven't lost something or done something wrong when we fall out of balance. The tension has just pulled us one way or the other, and now we have the opportunity to come back to center. Once we kind of accept that this is a journey and not a destination, then we can start to see that we can allow our priorities to be enough. So in that tension of left to right, or whatever that is, we're going to use a linear version for this, that the balance isn't necessarily in the middle, but it's what fits for us. So we might be to the left of the tension, or we might be to the right of the tension. But our priorities and our desires are what makes that balance exist. That it's not something that's universal for everybody. So in accepting that we are in balance when we feel at ease, and when we feel like we are steady, and that works for us in our own way. It is really tempting to think that someone else has the path and the recipe for your balance, and they just don't. We have our own set of priorities and our own set of our own equilibrium. So my favorite tip for creating balance is to use the word and. And in my bedroom, I keep a big and sign to remind me of this, because it's something that I have used quite a bit. So when I'm feeling out of balance, and when I feel out of balance, for me, I just feel off, and I just feel like, what's wrong? And what's wrong with me? I begin to start to have thoughts about my worth, or my, how good of a job I'm doing. And so when I add the word and to the end of those thoughts, it can help bring me into balance. For instance, oh, I did so horrible on that test today, and I have the opportunity to do better tomorrow. Or, oh, what is wrong with me? And my ability to change is always there for me. So using the word and to counteract maybe some of those negative thoughts, or maybe those negative, if we do this and we do that, then maybe that helps us come into balance. So, by tacking and on the end of a sentence, it paves the way for something more to come. for the story to not be over. And that allows some space for me to find my particular balance. So for this technique, what I want you to do is I want you to stand, and I just want you to put your arms out. And just to stay in camera, I'm going to keep my hands closer together. But as you stand there, just for a few minutes, just take a deep breath. And we're going to use the body to teach us here. So I'm going to pay attention to my right hand. I'm just going to connect with my right hand. And I want to feel any heaviness or any sensation that's in that hand, any warmth. And I want to ask that warmth what message it has for me. Now, usually the right hand represents the masculine. So we can ask ourselves, is this something in my masculine energy that needs help? Or is there a relationship, a masculine relationship that's causing me grief? And we can hold that for a minute and imagine love and energy going to that hand until it feels like it's not heavy anymore, until it feels light. And once we do that, move to the left hand, and the left is feminine energy. Now, maybe feminine energy or masculine energy isn't what's speaking to you, but just feel the energy of that hand for a minute as I put my intention on it. I can feel sensations as I focus on that. And as I'm quiet, I can ask myself what that means, or what support do I need. We can go back and forth until we feel this sense of being solid, where we don't lean one way or don't lean other. Our hands are not heavy. We almost just feel a light, weighted. We almost just feel a weightless sensation. You can add this technique to your morning routine to help you get in balance before you go out. See if there's anything that needs clearing, anything that you need to watch out for that day. And I hope that this wholeness hack gives you an opportunity to live life whole.